Okay, we'll pick up where we left off, which was making a link with an icon that changes, that shows and hides content, and we made sure that the icon itself was also clickable. And that was very simple. There are a couple ways you could do it, but we just put a hotspot over the link and the icon. Make sure the whole thing's clickable. But next, what we want to do is some fancy effects with make it look like Ajax is loading content with a little progress indicator like that, little spinner. It's very easy to do. So let me show you that. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off here. So if you don't understand how to do this part, then you can go back and watch previous movies that show all the different details of setting up your basic show hide box link with content like this. Use this kind of thing all the time. So I'm going to close out of my browser and let's look a little bit at what we have here. Let's preview this one in the browser real quick and just try to analyze it. So it's got the same thing. You can click on the link on the icon, but it is opening, showing a spinner, and then showing content. So that means that this here, the content area, needs to be a dynamic panel, which it is currently. In this example, this is not a dynamic panel. It's just an element that has a name, and it starts out hidden. And so here we are going to work on this, making it a dynamic panel, and then we're going to add a lot more interactions to this link. I'll just give you a quick preview of what the interactions look like. So we're going to show, and as you can see, this is just a hotspot here, but it's not a lot, but the basics are we're going to change the panel, change the link state. Then we're going to show the content. Here it happens to be called content 3. But we're going to show the content, and let me open this up. And it's the usual kind of thing. And then there's some nice little features that we can do that I use all the time, which is this wait interaction, and we can make it kind of pause for 300 milliseconds, which is just a short pause, and then it will show the processing, and then it'll pause some more, and then it'll fade in the content. It'll all make much more sense when we do it. So, but that's kind of the rough overview. We're going to, it all hinges upon making the content into a dynamic panel and having 3 states. There's going to be a blank state, a processing state, and then the content itself. So let's close this and go into where we left off here. And we're going to unfortunately have to kind of undo some of the things that we already did. So let's just, for make our life a little bit easier, we're going to unhide this. So this is our content, and there's our link. And we don't need to have it be named anymore because it's going to be a dynamic panel. And so we're going to first convert this to a dynamic panel, right-click, and then select Convert to Dynamic Panel. And we will call it Content. Remember, as a rule, first thing you do after you create a dynamic panel is give it a name. So we'll call it Content. And again, we're being sloppy with our naming. Normally, you'd want to have sort of a master plan in terms of naming things so you don't get confused later on. So here's our content, and we've planned this out, and we know that we're going to need 3 states. So we're going to have one called blank, duplicate this state. We're going to duplicate this state. So now we have all three states. We're going to have one called blank, one called processing, and one called content. Okay. You don't always need to have something like blank, but in our particular case, it makes it a little bit nicer if we have this one called blank. I'll show you why. So we have three: blank, processing, and content. So content is done. That's what content is supposed to look like. Processing, we need to build. We're going to get a little processing animated GIF and put it in there. And then blank is just going to be blank. So let's go get our animated GIF. And the way you can do that is just go into Google. Oops. And search for ajax loading and then you get all this stuff. I think I've been to this one. I think this is the one I like, loading, but there are tons of them, so we can I'll pick this one. Yep, this is good. I like this one. You see the different ones here. You can pick them, pick the one you want. So I picked this one, and then it's like the olden days. You have to. It's an animated GIF, so there's going to be that anti-aliasing around the edges. So you want to make sure you specify the right background color and the foreground color. So this one's just black and white. That'll be fine for me. And I already loaded one or grabbed one back here. So here it is. And all you do is you just drag it into your document. And so if we preview this, it's just an animated GIF that spins around forever, and really handy to have. So I'm gonna close that out. I'm gonna Control X, cut this, and I'm gonna go into my processing one, and I'm going to delete the text. I'm gonna keep the box though, because I want everything to fit together nicely. So I'm gonna paste Control V or Command V my my little animated spinning thing here, and I'm going to align it to the middle of this box. And so the way you do that is with the alignment tools. They're over here, and on Windows I believe they're in a different spot, but a good thing to know is that when using the alignment tools, it aligns with reference to the first thing that you've selected. So if I select this and then I say center align, it's going to align the box to the spinner. We don't want that. So we have to select the box first, and then the spinner, and then center align, and then middle align. And there we have it. So now our spinner is right in the middle of the box. I'm going to take off the border. So now we just have a nice spinner. And then the blank one, we're going to do a very similar thing. We're going to just take that off, take the border off, and now we have everything kind of set up. We have blank, processing, content. So let's stop here and then pick it up in the next lesson.